Hello there. In this tutorial, we're going to discuss about configuration of DER BDR. So, what is DR BDR? DR is designated router. BDR is backup designated router. Now, what is this DR BDR is? Why required DR BDR is? So, every router in OSPF send a LSA. LSA is link state advertisement. Means all these routers send advertisement of a link state, whether the information about the links, whether these links are working or not, what kind of links are they, and all that. So they basically sends a link so that the routers able to understand about the network, and then all that is there. You can see about the neighbor table, topology table, routing table. So these are the values uh, routers exchange with, and that's the reason that those routers were able to understand about the neighbors, about the neighbors, how these neighbors are, how what kind of network those neighbors were carrying, what are the physicality is, uh, what are the routing table they are carrying, so that they able to provide uh, able to exchange packets and able to provide the database. Now NSA having sequence 1, 2, 3, 4 based on the packets are exchanging with each other, routers exchanging with each other. Now for that, for example, let me connect a couple of routers in the network. For example, configuring I will configure the DR BDR. Now for example, let me name it as router A. Sorry. Router C, router B. Now for example, these are on the same broadcast network. Let me connect fast Ethernet 23, 22, and then 20 on the fast Ethernet. Now, as we learned about that, these routers send LSA with each other. It means every router in the network will send a LSA. Now, for example, in near future, we require to add more and more routers. For example, let me add an IP also. So, for example, 2.10. This will arrive IP. 192.168.2.11, 192.168.2.12. Okay, so we'll configure that. Now these routers will send the packet for the, because as a rule they have to find out the hello message and all that. We have to send the hello message so that they will able to understand the health of the network. They will also send the LSA so that they able to understand about the native routers behavior, about their all that. So they will send the LSA, link state advertisement, or understand about the state of the link. They will understand about the network further. So until unless they don't exchange their packets, they will not able to understand the network special they are existing. So for that, they will send a packet. But if these routers become a leader, if these routers are a leader special, and if all start exchanging packets with each other, then it will collapse the network, it will break the network, it will uh, uh, some way crash the network, so that these routers will send the packet but as backup. These routers will consider this router 1 as a leader. This router 1, since its value is high, is the priority value is high, it would be high, and these routers priority value will be low. As we learned about that, if you configure IP in the physical address manually, then that particular range will get more highest value than the loopback. If you are providing a IP in the loopback interface, then you will get the second most priority in the router ID fighting. So if router ID elected, then either it would be manually configured in the physical address, or a loopback ID, a loopback interface is there, a virtual address is there. So these are the 1 and 2 priority in the network. Now this particular will be the leader, no doubt about that. I will show you how. For example, let me show enable a show IP OSPF or rather I say that since we have to work on the about the priority, the loopback priority, so we have to understand about the loopback address. So it's show IP protocol. So you can see the router ID, which is 192.168.2.1, and we will learn about that is that it will be the preferred ID will be the first preferred ID of these routers also. So let me start configuration. I'll no enable config T host name router A. Now we have to configure it at fast Ethernet 0/0 because we are using this fast Ethernet port. So 192.168.2.10 and the default mask, sorry, it's IP address. Now okay, no shutdown. So this link gives up. Similarly here, and let me show the real thing then. So enable config T hostname router B I interface fast Ethernet 0 IP address 192.168.2.11 no shutdown. Configuration terminal host name router C interface fast Ethernet 0/0 IP address, then 192.168.2. Here we consider it 12. No shutdown. Okay, now we need to work on the two things we need to learn is DR, designated router, and another thing is backup DR, BDR. Now let me show IP first route. Now we just connected. As of now we didn't enable routing, so let me do that also. So router OSPF 10 network 192.168.2.0, and here the Wi-Fi mask 0.0.0.255 area consider as 0. Okay, here also OSPF config T router OSPF value 10 because our AS number is 10. Then network 192.168.2.0 0.0.255. Sorry, area, forget the area. 0. Okay, now it's done. Similarly here, config terminal router OSPF value 10, then network 192.168.2.0 0.0.255 area 0. Now what we need to do, all are up, so fine. Similarly in the B, fine, and C, up, fine. Okay, now router A, all are tries to be doing their things. Now show IP OSPF neighbor. Now two things you can understand about that. This particular router A, for example, have a network ID, which is this particular router is 192.168.2.1. Now its priority value is 1. It's full, means healthy connected, and it's a designated router. Its dead time is 31. Address is 192.168.2.1 because we are connected with the fast Ethernet port, so it preferring switch. The other two routers, for example, let me go to router B and tries to explore same command, show IP OSPF neighbor, and you can find out one interesting thing. This particular router is considering this router as a DR, designated router. Router B is now considering router 10, this router A, as BDR, means backup designated router. And this particular router B, is now two-way, means this router can send a packet. Router A can send a packet to router 0, router 1. This router B can send a packet to router 1. this router C can send a packet to router 1. These two can send a packet, but router B and router A can't. They can't send a packet with each other. It's two-way thing, and it's drawer, means they can't exchange LSA with each other. They have to pass it to router 1. This is router 1. Similarly, in router C, you can find out the show IP, OSPF, neighbor, and this particular router 11 is drawer, means this C and B can't exchange LSA. This 12 router C can send a packet to 1, and it's a BDR for router, and it's a BDR of our own, and the router ID is 10, so it's a BDR of 10, means 10 is a BDR 10, and 21 is the full, means it's a DR is designated router, and BDR is backup designated router, means for this router C, this particular router is BDR, this particular router is designated router. Similarly, router B, for router B, this particular router is designated router, and this particular router is BDR. 12 is our own C, so can't be it's a two-way. So the 11, this is two-way. They can't send LSA with each other, but they can send LSA to DR and BDR. Similarly, router A, it can only send a packet to router A, but can't as drawer, because they are drawer. So this is what the DR is. DR means that whenever any router wants to send a packet, it will pass the packet to the DR, the designated router, and will not do anything extra. But the backup one just to send a packet to DR and receive a packet, but as a backup, only backup. It's a backup of DR, and it won't do anything until unless DR is not present. So this is what the DR is all about. These routers are backup of router 1. Currently, everything will done by router 1. This particular router, they will send a packet to LSA, send a LSA to router 1 and all that. Then the router 1 will not present, then the highest value router will be considered as the designated router. Now we will show you show IP route thing. You can find a lot many things. Now show IP protocols, and you can find a lot many things. Now you can see the router ID is 12. Currently it's router ID is considering as 12 because this particular router have a highest number. Same with the router 12, you can see the show IP protocols. This is router ID, and considering ourselves as a king. So, but since we are talking about the DR and BDR, so that's the reason it doesn't matter about the configurations, about the router ID. It's all a priority, but currently is DR and BDR. So every router have some faith on them. Every router have some configurations on them, and they were considering them according to it. So it's a by default thing. We just enable. What we enable, we just provide an IP address. We enable OSPF, and then router itself decided which one to give a DR designation, which one to give a BDR designation. DR will be this because it heading the network, and all these routers will themselves decides who will be the BDR to send as. So hope you learned something about the configuration, how to configure the lab of DR and BDR. Thanks for watching.